How do you handle dependencies between items in a product backlog? Well, go talk to the purists. You don't have them. Okay, problem solved. You don't need to handle them because you don't have them. You're not allowed to. That is a really good answer, to be clear. The best answer is don't have them. You're not going to achieve that, not all the time. So what we need to do is start understanding where they are. The way that I approach dependencies is, number one, make them visible. So whatever tool you're using, make sure that everybody can see this is linked to that. And if I move one, I need to, by the very nature of dependency, move everything else. In fact, Scaled Agile Framework, when I did the SPC course many moons ago now, had a really nice way. They brought big room planning out to the masses. It was already a thing. But the thing that I liked coming out of SAFE was this idea of the red wool. So you have a big board with everything that all of these teams are working on, and you connect any dependencies with red wool. Pretty sure that the SAFE team had bought a factory that produced red wool or something. We were very clear it had to be red wool. Not sure why. Now, I'm going to put big room planning to one side, but actually that idea of having a board that is visible, that you can say this is connected to that. So if I want to replan one item, I must, by the very nature, replan its dependence. Makes it easier. At least now, you can visibly manage it. You can understand the consequences. Well, if I move this, then these have to move, and the knock-on effect is whatever it is. That's a good first step. Now, my issue with the course that I was on was that was also the last step. It's not a good place. Right, so we're going to assume you've got a product backlog. You've got visible dependencies between items. Okay. Can we bring those items together and rework them so that actually there are no dependencies? So we've seen it and we've said, oh, well, one of the most common is from newer teams or those who kind of got Agile, kind of got Scrum, but didn't take those last few steps and are still stuck in this weird pseudo waterfall place where they have a front end item, a middleware item, and a back end item. You know, they're pretty much setting themselves up to do waterfall, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. When you look at that and you think, well, actually, if we put it all back together, how else could we split this? The one that I use in training is a cash machine. Okay, front, middle, back. Okay, we've got the front end of the cash machine. We've got the business logic that connects you to your bank account and works out whether or not you can take money out. And then we've got the back end data store in the bank that says whether or not you've actually got money. You know, that upsetting number at the end of the month. Most teams, when they're new to this, will go, well, it's clear. We've got 3 different technologies. We should have 3 different items on the backlog, front, middle, and back. And you've just created dependencies, because until all 3 are done, there's no value. So you have to build all 3. Now, you could turn around and say, yeah, but we could do them all in one sprint. Of course you could. I'm yet to come across a team who breaks work down that way, who can do that. They can try, but they won't achieve it. So they do the front end. And in our cash machine, you walk up and you've got a beautiful front end. It's got every option you could ever want. It's just the most intuitive thing you've ever used. Can't get any money out though, because we haven't done the middle and the back yet. Okay. Next week you come back, you're going to go meet your mates in the pub, and you've got that beautiful front end and you think it's still gorgeous, it's still a thing of true beauty, and it still doesn't work because we've got the front and the middle but we don't have the back end. We're not talking to the bank yet, so I can't get any money out. That's what's considered a horizontal slice. Instead, we want to look at vertical slicing. Think of it like cake. So you cut cakes vertically, unless you're a crazy man, because I used to ask it that way and the looks I got, I don't. Right? You cut them vertically because then you get a bit of everything. If we look at that cash machine as well and we think, well, vertical slicing, what does a customer want? They want to be able to take money out. And you turn around to a team and they say, we can't give you that. Okay, could you give me the ability to put my card in, put my PIN number in, take a tenner out, assuming that I've got a tenner in my bank account? Just that. Very, very thin slice. Okay. That's what we're looking for. Okay, that's what we're looking to break stuff down to, is focus on the customer. Vertical slicing is a great place to go. So when you've got dependencies, one of the things I do look for is, have you created those by horizontal slicing? And if you have, it's okay, we all live and learn. Combine it all back together. Can you cut it instead? Thinking about what does the user want? Is there any way of making maybe a really thin slice, that I'm on a diet piece of cake? You still want some, you want all the flavors, but you know you'll feel bad if you have any more. Really thin slice. How do we get front to back user focused? Okay, that way we have fewer dependencies. We're not going to get rid of them all. You are occasionally go, I just need to do this before that. I need to do this upgrade before I can do that item. Just is. Okay, at least it's visible. Okay? But those things that aren't just a fact. Okay? And in honesty, challenge everything. Can you push it further? Can you combine things together and do it in a different way to maintain that flexibility? Because dependencies reduce your flexibility as a team. You must do this before that. And if all the value is in the second item, well, you're doing work that you have to do, but you don't want to do. Is there a way of combining it back together and maintaining that flexibility, that true agility at the product level that we strive for? If you've got to this point in the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, a like would be appreciated. If you want to hear more from me, more answers to questions that maybe you've got in the Agile world, please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got a question that you really want answered, drop it in the comments. I promise we'll get around to it. Thank you.